There is a debate going on right now in terms of how do you best spend your eyeball resource to craft relics. Now, the eyeball resource I'm talking about are these Chimera orbs, eyeballs I call them because they look like an eyeball, that you get from doing trials and from this top chest. Now, one thing to note, the only place right now that you can get any of the mythical eyeballs is from trials. So obviously this is the bit of the debate. Should you prioritize trials? If you do, you get more mythical. But what is the payout for this? And then when you take it to the Relic Forge, the way that the system works is a bit different because it is based on the input of materials. So you can see here, I've not really been prioritizing trials. I've been trying to help my clan win Clash all the time, and I tend to push damage. I find the trials quite difficult if you don't have any mythical champions, so I've just been prioritizing more powerful teams in terms of damage numbers. So I haven't been able to get any mythical. But if you have got mythical, then your debate is kind of like, okay, well, should I put 2 rares and some mythicals? What would that do in terms of the opportunities? And every single time you put a different combination, you can see if I put these 3, the numbers change all the time. So the big question that a lot of people are asking, should I wait and do all the same rarity? That's kind of like what I said in my last video when I was talking about maximizing Chimera. I made the suggestion that you should only put the same rarity 4 times. That's one way that I'm currently approaching it. I don't really mix and match, but is that the right way? That's what we want to talk about in this video. Now, there's not much we can do in terms of trying to improve the chance of a specific relic. That'll just be a 50-50, but the only thing we can do is manipulate the quality chances. And that's what we're going to look at, specifically the equation that determines the sort of overall rarity distribution. We've got a full breakdown of those so you can see, okay, what is the best place to get epic relics? What is the best way to get mythical relics? And some of it will be obvious, some of it not so much. We've got the full breakdown. Now, just before I get into that, one thing I have been observing is how accessible are these mythical eyeballs? Now, the only place you can get them, as I said, is from the trials. And I think from what I was seeing with most people who are able to get some of these, you know, this increased crit rate, increased crit damage with Weaken, Ramform is very difficult to do damage with, but if you have Necmo, maybe Farrakhan, you can get away with a lot of these. And what I've been seeing from the most part is, on average, people are getting around about 10 per key. Now, that basically means you're going to get around about 100 every month, which is what you would need to maximize. What I'm saying about maximize is the most efficient way to get mythical relics is to basically put 4 times mythical. That makes obvious sense. We all know that would be the case. That gives you a 20% chance. So every month you have a 20% chance to get a mythical relic, which means doing the obvious math here. How long do I have to wait for a mythical relic on average? Well, if it's going to take you about 1 month to get 100, and that's a 20% chance, you need 5 of those, you need 500, so it's about 5 months right now. On average, to get one of these relics is probably going to cost you about 5 months of grinding, assuming you can do 10 trials, which is a big assumption to begin with. This is why I personally haven't been putting too much effort into trials, because it's going to take so long to even get a relic like this that I'm just not worried about it. I think by the time that we get to the point where people are going to be getting these relics, there'll be 2 or 3 more sources to acquire the mythical relics. Clan Shop, Live Arena, will have more of it put in, right? That's why I haven't made a video complaining about the rewards like I normally would, because they've already confirmed there'll be more sources, and I want to see the full picture as to the balance. If after those things go in, we're still at the same kind of like, oh, we get a mythical relic once every 3 months, that feels a bit weak when we've got 200 champions. So we'll have to see how it lays out. So on to the main topic of the video. How does this equation work? So the way that I'm going to explain it to you is a bit mathematical, but essentially every single material has a individual weighting value for each one. So when I put this in here, you can see it right now. Okay, so imagine when I use a rare material, 25, it basically says the probability that I add into the equation is 83.99% for rare, 15.5% for an epic, 0.5 for legendary, and 0.01 for a mythical. That gets added into an equation, all 4 of them, because there's 4 slots, and then it gets divided with a weighting for the particular piece of equipment you've used. And then we have a second equation, and that's how it distributes the percentages evenly. I'm going to show you this in a very easy way. I've got an equation which I will put up on screen, but I think, to be honest, the numbers matter more than the equation itself. Okay, so this is the sort of full list of possible combos. What I've done is I've basically broken out every single possible combination of the 4 types of rarities in 4 different slots. So we've got like 4 mythicals, we've got like an epic, legendary, mythical here, we've got rare, mythical. This should account for all of the different combinations. So like I said, the way that the equation works is essentially uses this set of lookups here. So if you would imagine it like this, we would basically say, okay, if we want to calculate from a rare material, this is the base, and then it's got a weight which basically redistributes how it all works. Now on screen here, I have put the equation up, and I want to give a big shout out to Reggie from our community over at HH Discord. We were having a conversation about this last night, who was able to draw some initial inference and bring up this equation. Then between us, we worked out the full list of combos to verify that this data seemed to be correct. We based it off the video that Raid themselves put out, so we looked at their different examples, and we're pretty confident this is the equation in which it works it out. So it basically says, okay, well, if slot 1, we go into this list here, it's a mythical, okay, so it would be 0% there for the rare. So what we're basically saying is when I put a mythical in slot 1, the rare chance gets no value. So we take that 0 times it by the slot. However, if we were to put a rare in it, then it's going to get 83.99%, which means we put 83.9%, times it by the slot weight, which would be 3, and then it gets divided equally. So this is the way that this equation works, and it pulls out these numbers here, and you can see I can drag it across here, and I'm calculating it based on the quality. The TLDR of all this is mythicals don't contribute any epic or rare probability, legendaries don't add any rare probability, but then all the others add probability for each, and really mythical is the only one that gives you any form of substantial mythical quality at all. There are some weird quirks that you will notice in here, which is around the fact that actually some combinations give you a better or worse chance depending on it. It's really down to the weighting of epic. When you add a legendary into one of the 4, you're actually adding more epic chance than you are legendary, as weird as it sounds, right? When you think if you're adding a legendary material, it's improving your legendary odds. It's actually improving the epic odds. It's 60% of the weight. So it does a few weird things. So what does this basically mean? Well, if you want the best opportunity to get a mythical relic, it does mean you should hold all of your mythical charms, because the best chance is 4 times mythical. That is not a surprise. The second best chance is going to be legendary, mythical. That is not a surprise. But here is where it is a surprise. You don't actually improve it by going legendary, mythical, right? This is an 8.3%. The actual difference between adding 2 legendaries and 2 mythicals versus 1 legendary and 3 mythicals is quite a lot. It is quite a big jump. We are talking, let's have a look at 5.2%, whereas if you add 1 epic versus 1 legendary, the difference is not that much at all. It's about 1.2%. So it definitely pays you. If you really want to try and maximize it, you want to save as many mythicals as you can, but the worst case scenario is legendary, epic, and rare 3, and that's how it scales back. Double legendary, epic legendary. You can see that's how it's scaling back here. It does make sense from the mythical point of view. Now, in terms of legendary, the best way is 4 mythicals, not 4 legendaries. You would think, logically speaking, that 4 legendaries would give you the best legendary chance. It does not. 4 mythicals does. Then it goes legendary, mythical, legendary, mythical. This is where you're starting to see more logical stuff. But here's the weird thing. You get a better chance of getting legendaries if you go epic, mythical than you do going 3 legendaries mythical. So effectively, having no legendary ores gives you a better chance of getting legendary than having 3 legendaries. It's very bizarre in some respects in this instance. For example here, epic, legendary, mythical gives you a 4% chance here. So it scales backwards. Now in terms of epic, the best chance is 4 legendaries. This is what I was saying about when you add legendary material, actually it's giving you the best epic chance, not actually the best legendary material. Legendaries and epics are in a weird spot, whereas rares and mythicals are more obvious. If I add 4 rares, I get the best chance at rares. If I add 4 mythicals, I get the best chance at mythicals. Epics and legendaries are backwards a step. Epics give you, like, not the best chance, essentially. If we look at epic here, epic is basically giving you not really the best chance of anything. The best chance at epics is 4 legendaries. Then it's epic, 3 legendaries. Then it's legendary, mythical. Now here's the weird thing. If you wanted an epic, it's far better for you to go epic and 3 legendaries than it is for you to put higher rated materials in. Which, I suppose it's not weird because you would expect to get a higher quality relic from higher quality materials. But it does mean when you're looking at epic and legendaries, there are different choices. If you're just looking at the top and the bottom, you just keep it 4 of the same color. So it does scale backwards here. Legendaries, double epic, double legendaries. In no instance does it pay you to have lots of mythicals if you want epic relics. And to be honest, some of you might be saying, well, all I ever want is mythicals, right? Not true. Some of the epic relics are actually better than legendary and mythicals, just from the pure damage and usefulness of them. So we can go down here and we can see pretty much it tallies out. And then when we look at rare, as I said, it makes no surprise that 4 rares, then 3 rares, then 3 rares, then 2 rares. That's how it scales backwards. Interestingly, it's actually a better, is more chance that you'll get a rare from a rare mythical than a rare legendary. Again, this is the backwards thinking that you think add better quality gear. It kind of doesn't really work, because actually you would think this should give you a better chance of getting mythical. It really doesn't really help you that much. So I'm going to make this chart available. I'll put it in the pinned comment and description. You can use this so you can track what combination you really want to go for. I think it kind of proves my point, though, that you really don't want to be using mythical materials unless you're getting 4 mythical materials, because, you're losing quite a big chance. We're looking at 6.4%, or was it 6.5%? You're losing by just having the 4th legendary, not the 4th mythical. And keep in mind that when you have got anything other than 4 mythical, there's still a chance you can get epic. The only opportunity you have that you don't get an epic relic is 4 mythical. It's the only one. Any other combination, you always have a chance to get epic, and it is always pretty significant. If you look here, I've got a legendary mythical. That's a 20% chance I'm going to get an epic. 20% chance. And even worse, if I do rare mythical, I've actually got a 49.75% chance that it's going to be a rare or an epic. So just having 1 rare is going to mean that 50% of the time it's not even going to be legendary. It's really poor that that's the thing you would do. That's why I'm pretty confident this proves my point, which was, if you want mythical, stick with mythical. If you just want rare, stick with rare. If you want epic, you want 4 legendaries. And if you want legendary, you want 4 mythicals. So it kind of makes the epic material somewhat worthless, because it kind of becomes a bit of this thing, well, what is 4 epics going to give me? Well, it's going to give me basically the chance of nothing in that sense, right? It gives me pretty low chance at a mythical, pretty bad chance at a legendary, still a pretty high chance of the rare, but not the best chance of the rare, and nowhere near the best chance of an epic, right? We're talking 4 epics is giving you a 36% chance. That's like near enough half the chance at 4 legendary. So really you kind of want to use maybe, I would say you could use a combo of like epic, legendary, because the best chance of getting legendary is 4 mythicals. I think the epics and legendaries are the only ones that I would mix and match. The only ones, because you might want to, right? So you might want to put like 4 legendary, 2 legendary, 2 mythical. What does that give you? Let's have a look. So if you wanted 2 epic, 2 legendary, it's going to give you a 46.56% chance, which is pretty good. Pretty high, if we compare it to the best, which is 60%. And then the legendary is at 19%. So I think 2 epic, 2 legendary is not bad. If you went maybe 3 epic, 1 legendary, it kind of neuters the legendary and epic a little bit. But maybe 1 epic, 3 legendary is quite good as well. Let me see if I can find that one in here. 1 epic, 3 legendary. That gives you overall a 81% chance as an epic or legendary, which is quite good. Epic legendary doubles is about 66% chance. So definitely either epic legendary, or double epic, double legendary. I think those are much better to mix and match. I would say probably avoid 3 epic and legendary, because you are leaning very much to a 50, half the chance is going to be a rare. You don't really want to be picking something where the majority chance is the lowest rarity of that material, right? I put 3 epics and a legendary and I got a rare. That's pretty bad. Whereas if I put 2 epics and 2 legendary, 66% of the time that's going to be an epic or legendary. So that's how I would use this chart. Try to find the chance that is not mythical and not rare, that has a better probability of getting one of the materials you're putting in. Don't pick the thing that's going to give you, on average, half the chance to get a material quality, a rarity, that is not even the material you're putting in. You don't want to get a rare when you put epic and legendary material. that's my takeaway from this. So like I said, I'm going to put this in that link in the description. You can use that. I think it's really, really helpful to see the full breakdown. I may have missed 1 or 2 combos. I think there's 35 combos. I've got 34. I found a duplicate. Maybe I've missed 1 or 2, but general sense is there. If you want mythical relics, save your mythicals. If you want rares, save your rares. Mix and match the legendaries at will. They are fine. I would say 2 epics maximum. Don't go the 3 epic, 1 legendary. That is bad. And just to point out what I was saying about epics and rares being somewhat better, a lot of people are getting a lot of success with this Malefic token, which is giving you a 20% chance, which goes up to, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50% chance to deal a bit more damage. Erethi's Comet is guaranteed damage. It's like Nature's Wrath. Scroll of Unseen is pretty good if you've got a strong ninja. I would say I've actually got this Orb of Transfixion. It's very good. It works without requiring accuracy. So you basically have a 20% chance when you fully max it out. It's like a 35% chance to steal a buff. Unresistible. Pretty good, you know. It will proc sheep, so be careful about that, but that's pretty good. So there's actually quite a lot of good epics and rares in here that will help you. They're not bad. You don't need necessarily these big ticket items. These epics and rares can keep you going. It's going to take you a while to get these. I did say that Stormcaller was the best damage one. It absolutely is. But, you know, it's going to take you a while to get that. So there you go, guys. That is the end of the video. I'm actually going to try and do my last Chimera run now after this video. Get a few of these eyeballs. If I could pick up 1 legendary and 3 epic in my trials, I would be able to craft the best probable chance that I've got right now of getting a legendary or epic. It's like 66% chance. And I do tend to right now do the 8 billion in about 3 keys, which means my 4th key, which is once every fortnight, I have kind of like a free trial run as long as my clan is winning. You can see we're crushing it in Clash. So I can basically build a much lower damage team to try and target on Nightmare some of these trials. I won't get as many mythical eyeballs, but I can definitely target like the legendary here. That would get me enough. Ideally, I can charge at these target some of these gemstones as well if I can pick them up. So that's what I'll be doing after this video. There you go, guys. Let me know in the comments below, how have you been using those relic crafting? I know it's a bit of a debate at the moment. Trials versus damage versus mix and match versus same. Hope this clears it up a bit. I will be doing a deep dive on relics and gemstones very soon. I've taken a bit of a break over the last couple of weeks just to recharge a bit. The year has been very stressful and very busy for me. So hopefully in January now I'm going to get back to it. We're going to do the videos that I've been promising for a while. Things like the Slayer video on the Slayer set. We're going to be doing all that. So getting back into it. But there we go. Let me know in the comments below and I will catch you guys in the next video.